for those of you who already know how to field strip a Glock, we're going to take it a step further and teach you how to get a little deeper, you know, to the firing pin and things of that nature for those who don't know how, and put out a secret or two of how you can improve your trigger. So I decided I'd use this for that. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the mag. Hollow points, of course. Clear the gun. Lock it to the rear. I'm gonna look 3 seconds and then watch it go home. Alright, so now the gun is clear and we're going to then field strip it. And maybe there's people who don't know how to field strip the Glock, so I'll go through that part too. So again, I'm going to go ahead and make sure it's clear, even though I just did it. Doing it again, you can't be too safe. It's clear. So what I'm going to do is pull the trigger in a safe direction, okay? And then with this hand here, I'm going to pull back just a little bit. You'll hear it when you pull it back. And then you grab these on both sides. You pull down on those and you push forward. The Glock comes apart. Now that's your basic field strip, right? Once you do that, you take out the guide rod. And bear with me just a moment here. Okay, it's good. You take out the guide rod. Big, long 6-inch barrel. I polished that and the feet and ramp. And now you have officially successfully field stripped the gun. Now, for most maintenance, this is all you need to do, is to break it down like this, clean it up, put it back together, you're good to go. But we're going to take it a step further, and you'll need a tool of some sort, something skinny but firm, strong, hard. So give me just a second here. Alright, back to action. Okay, so I'm going to use something like this. Alright, it could be anything. It just needs to be thin and strong. Okay, and that's to get into the guts of the slide. Okay, I might do a little bit of frame, explain that frame stuff too. When it comes to, so here's one little secret. Now you see here, there's a little bump right here. On Gen 1, 2, and 3, that bump doesn't exist. Okay, let me see a little closer. That bump doesn't exist. And what that does is it causes just a little bit more friction, I guess, you know, when it goes up against the metal here on the slide. And so it makes it so that the trigger is not as smooth. For whatever reason, they wanted the trigger to have a different feel, and so they added that bump to get the feel that they wanted. I don't care for it. So what a lot of people do that work on Glock triggers, who are good and know what they're doing, they will replace this with the Gen 3 trigger bar. They'll replace this with a Gen 3 so that they don't have this bump right here, and it gives for a better trigger pull. So that's one. I told you I was going to give you a couple, so that's one. Alright, so we're going to move this stuff to the side and show you how to get down in here, right? So what we want to do is this right here. This is part of the firing pin. Now, right down underneath it is a piece that we want to push in and pull down. That's why you need something strong, thin but strong. So the first thing you want to do is grab this and push it up. Okay, see that? Now that I've pushed it up, there's this room where I can put this in here and I can pull down on it. Okay, I can go in and I'm going to pull this way, and you'll see the piece right there. You'll see that piece. That's the piece you want to go down to the point where you don't see it anymore. But all you need to do is put it in like this and press down, going this way. Once you do that, this back piece gets loose, and you can take your finger and push it off. Okay, so now that I've explained it, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm in here, I'm going to press down. It takes a little strength, so you go in here, you press down. Let me get, okay, I want to do it so that you can still see me. Okay, so press down, press off, just like that. Okay, so we got that off, and now we get to the internal guts. So we took the back plate off, and now we can, that piece right here, you can pull straight out. Ta-da! That's your firing pin. You see that has a spring on it. Now, a lot of people will replace the spring on their firing pin, and I don't touch this. I don't deal with it. And the reason why is because, don't get me wrong, there's thousands of people who have, you know, upgraded this, replaced it, whatever, and had a perfectly well shooting Glock. However, I have seen people replace these and run into problems. I've seen it enough times that I don't care to do it. You know, it's not that serious for me to have to replace this due to what I have seen. Flat like that. Okay. So, firing pin. Then we're going to take that part out. And remember how you take everything in, you know, how you take everything out. That was right there. See that? And I'm going to just pull that out. These don't all look the same. You see how on this one you got like this middle piece right here? I don't know what other Glock models have this like this, but out of my other 5 Glocks, they don't have this. It's just a straight bar. It doesn't have this middle piece. Not exactly sure what that's about, but anyway. So move those to the side, and now what we have left is the extractor and safety plunger. That's the extractor. That's the safety plunger. Guess I'll keep it this way. So to remove this, it's going to be awkward for me because I always do it the other way around. But in order to show you, I gotta do it this way. So what I do here is I press this in, and when I press it in, look, it fell out. See that? And then the safety plunger kind of pops itself up. Okay, and just reach in there and pull that out. Boom. And that's that. Now we're going to secret number 2. I'll go to the frame to break down secret number 2, because I don't want to give too much information out. Anyhow, if you shoot a lot, it's a good idea to take the slide apart like this, an empty slide. And it's good just to know about this, because if you decide you want to rebuild or do a P80 build, you need to know this stuff. So anyhow, it's good to take the stuff apart, and I get some hoppies and get me whatever that I use, a cloth of some sort, Q-tip. I love using Q-tips, and I go in there and I clean inside, down in where the safety plunger was, clean up in there, go up in there where the firing pin was, and I clean all that to where it's spick and span, and then put it all back together. So, and each one of these parts, here's the thing, you guys. A lot of people like Glock. I don't want Glock. I don't like Glock because people want to be different. Like, that's who I am and who I've always been. I am that guy that's like, I don't want it because everybody else has it. I've always been that guy. So it would seem weird that I would like Glock, right? Well, there's a couple reasons. Number one, I seen Glock's reliability with my own 2 eyes. I seen it. I seen it over a period of 5 years. I seen these guns take abuse like no other. And when other guns dropped to their face, Glocks kept going. And they continue to prove that they are reliable as hell. So that's one. But the other thing is, with any other gun, it's kind of hard for me to feel like I have something different. If I get a CZ, somebody else out there has the exact same CZ I have. You know what I mean? No matter which one, if someone has the exact same one somewhere, it's not that, it's not that rare then. It's like somebody does have it. So for me, with Glock, because you can modify a Glock to an exact of what you want, that's what makes it different for me. I can pretty much guarantee you there's no other Glock 40 MOS out there set up like mine. Alright, I can dang sure promise you that nobody has a Gen 2 Glock 22 like mine. I can promise you that. And that's the other thing about it. When I get a Glock, I modify it to how I feel it should be. And I don't have to, just because this guy has a Glock 17, it's not like mine. The Glock 17 is not like mine. His trigger ain't like mine. His slide ain't like mine. His, this, that, and the other. You can go on and on and on, but they're all gonna have these differences, and that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it unique. Same thing as the AR-15. The people who don't like Glock, it's like, well, hell, everybody has an AR-15. How come you don't like those? Because you can take an AR-15 and make it how you want to make it. It's the same way it's a Glock. Alright, anyway. Put this back in. Same way. So, just gonna drop the safety plunger in there. And then, this is gonna be awkward doing this from this angle, but can I do it this way? Yep. It's supposed to go this. Oh, there we go. Alright. So we got that in, and what I do is I'm going to press the safety plunger in. Line that back up. Boom. Alright. So now the extractor's lined up. Safety plunger's in. Okay. And we're going to put the other stuff back in. Put this back in the same way it came out. Just like that. Take this. Put that back in. Okay. And then we're back there. And so we're going to put this back on kind of the same way. But this time we don't need to go with this and you know, go here with it, because this is this. Okay. So I'm going to take this, and as it, we're going right back in, right? You can see that. And then I'm going to take this, and I need to press this. I need to press this down. This little circle, I got to press this down. So I take this. Alright, so we got that down. Now the only thing in our way is this right here. So I'm the same thing. We'll press that in and press. Boom. It's in there. And we're good to go. Okay. That's how you do that. And let's go ahead and show you this. We're almost at 20 minutes here, but I'll try to be quick. So there's pins on your Glock. Okay. There's pins both sides. Take something skinny and you just press it out. You push in and that part comes out just like that. Okay. A lot of you guys already know this, but you know, not everybody knows everything. A lot of people are new. So once I take that out, I can lift this up. See? So boom, that whole thing comes up. Now the main thing, the quickest thing you can do to upgrade your trigger is oh, by the way, a lot of people will grab this right here. Excuse me. A lot of people will grab this right here and they'll polish it. They'll polish it up real good. Okay. And I'm going to change this just a little bit. Okay. Boom. Alright. So, taking this, pulling this back a little bit. And right here, you have your 3.5 pound connector. That's what I have in here. It's your connector. This is it's a Ghost Edge 3.5 connector. And you can take that out and swap it for something else, because you know, when you first buy a Glock, you're not going to have a aftermarket connector. You're going to have a stock connector. So you just kind of bend this out and pull that out. Okay. See that? You just kind of bend and pull. The Edge is my favorite. It's my favorite connector. This is the connector that I put in most of my guns. One of them has a Zev 3.5 connector, but for the most part, I like the Edge. So this is the other part of having a good trigger. So that's what you do. You want to swap that out or whatever. This is how you do it. And then you just go ahead and put that back in. Get things back to how you had it. And then I'm just going to press it straight down. Boom, boom, boom. Now this piece right here, you know what that piece is called? It's not the extractor. That's actually the ejector. That's the ejector. So you have the extractor and the ejector working together on removing the casing after each shot. So swap those connectors out, put the pin back in, which is fairly easy. Just make sure it's even on both sides. It is. And then we can put this back together. It's applesauce. It's still perfectly oiled. I don't have to touch it. I mean, it's perfectly oiled. See, I don't gunk my stuff up with oil. That just causes more dirt. I oil where metal friction is going to happen, and that's the only place I put it. This is the only place necessary. If there's going to be metal upon metal moving, you need oil there. If it's not, if there's nothing moving in that spot, you don't need to put any oil there. Simple as that. Barrel back in, guide rod back in, and this G40 is a trip. You see how the guide rod isn't the length, it doesn't go all the way up here. It literally just comes here. And that's all you get for the guide rod on the G40, yet you have, you know, this much more space. And they designed it that way for a reason. And I'm telling you, it makes for an amazing shooter. It really does. I can't complain. Anyway, that's that. Put that back on. And we're good to go. That's how you really